Welcome, everybody, to Watch Over Palestine. It's Mr. Leapfrog along with me, Tymunster. How's it going, Ty?
Pretty good, pretty good. I'm having a great time here. You were telling me before we started this about how you were going to get on some Owl stuff. I was looking for my Houston jersey. I swear I couldn't find it. And now I'm just upset looking at you. You even got the hat and everything.
Oh, man, I'm a big esports fan. I started watching Overwatch League a long time ago. So obviously it's been a big part of my life. It's how I got here in the first place. I wouldn't have done it if I wasn't really watching some cool stuff, like even events that we have now. Like the one you're watching right now is stuff that's really been exciting for me, not only to watch, but now to actually participate in. What a great cause. Tell us about what we're running here tonight, Ty.
Yep, so this is obviously Watch Over Palestine. You see it right there. Yes, I got the direction correct. If you hear the dog, I'm so sorry. There's nothing I can do about that right now. But this is a charity event for Palestine because, of course, Palestine, they need some help. And this is a great thing that the Overwatch community has kind of come together to do is Watch Over Palestine. The donation goal that we currently have is $22.55. There's a link, I think, that you can type it into the Twitch chat for it, if I'm correct. Right? Yes.
Should be exclamation point donate, I believe.
Yeah. All right. So awesome. We are currently at $1,988. I'm hoping that by the end of the stream we were talking about before, we can get the next goal, because that was the second stretch goal of $2,255. And this obviously incentives, if you go over to the website, if I can pull it up real quick. There's things like stickers. The stickers look great. I'm definitely probably going to buy myself one because they do look great. There's a bunch of silly stuff, like you can tell somebody to Ajax pretty much. You can tell somebody to play a certain hero pretty much. And for the guaranteed stream slot for $100, you can guarantee your team is on stream. So there's a lot of stuff that you can spend money on and a lot of stuff that you can donate for. Of
course. And there's still have a spot as well open for any of the teams, or maybe one of the fans that are watching. If you guys want to donate, there's a $100 incentive. If you scroll down of the exclamation point donate, takes you to the website. You scroll down a little bit. There's a couple different things you can take a look at and buy. One of the actual little tabulas you can buy is a streaming spot, so you can watch your team, or somebody you really want to watch. You can put them on stream because it's a Swiss round. So every team is going to play everybody. I believe it's 4 rounds total, maybe 5 rounds. So there's going to be plenty of matches, plenty of Overwatch to be played here tonight and tomorrow and Sunday, of course. So it's a lot of matches to get through. So if you want to see one of those matches, donate that $100. It goes to a great fund. So it's going to be very exciting to see all these matches going forward this weekend.
Yep, and just for context, the next 2 days are going to be the Swiss stage. As you see here, there's, I think, 17 teams in NA. Top 4 go on to the playoffs on Sunday. So that's what these two regions are going to be playing for, what these 2 teams are going to be playing for as well. You got Overworked and Billings Boomers. You see the points on the right side. That is mostly for seeding. And just so that then at the start of the tournament, we know where each team is generally going to be playing. So these are 2 of the highest seeded teams heading into the bracket.
Yeah, there's also a couple different happenings if they happen during the match. If somebody Ajax, one of the players will be willing to donate either $1 or $2 into the prize, into the actual charity itself. So just pay attention for those. There's plenty of them done. The list is crazy. My producer told me beforehand, hey, take a look at this list. I click it and it's ever expansive. There's so many different things that just directly contribute to our charity itself. But alas, we're going to take a look at the map pool. Map pool is obviously decided by the donations, and you can see this top 3. It's only first to 2, and these ones obviously very unlikely to get the draws. So we're going to be dealing with potential Circuit Royale, Route 66, Shambali, Watchpoint, and so on and so forth. So you can take a look through all those.
Yeah, I think it's very funny. When I was because I joined the server right when I heard about it, which was still pretty early on. I think it was a week or 2 ago, and people kind of pretty quickly decided, we're just gonna spend money on the worst maps possible. Ilios and Lijiang somehow still made it through, but Circuit got in, Shambali almost, I think, got in because I think it's 4 maps per mode. Gibby as well. Parisio is a perfect example, right? Midtown made it in. Eichenwald got nothing. So just to add to the chaos that the tournament can kind of have was, we're just going to vote for the maps to make the players have a bad time.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure a lot of these players are gonna be having a lot of fun. I don't know if you got to watch any of the EMEA stuff, but there was a lot of aura farming going on, a lot of mewing, and I was laughing my butt off. I was stuck in work. I was supposed to host earlier in the day, but I unfortunately had to go into work. But watching it live, I was just laughing so hard, and people were like, "What are you laughing at?" I was like, "Man, you have to be there. You just had to be there. Like you wouldn't understand."
Yeah, I was like sitting there watching. I don't remember which game it was, but there was a beat that went off. Like the beat went off, the tank just died, so the beat didn't hit the tank, and then they just start emoting and win the fight anyways. And that was like, I watched for 5 minutes, like I'm good. This is the best tournament I've ever seen. That's all I need to see.
100%. I mean, the EMEA teams are hilarious, so we're gonna have to see how the NA rosters tend to be as well. But as you can see, we got the two teams loaded up here. We got Overworked versus Billings Boomers. And from what I've been told, they're actually regulars around here for the community BPL tournaments as well. So you're going to see a lot of familiar names.
And as my first time casting for a BPL tournament, it's going to be fun to get to know some of these people. And one of my favorite things is, I love it when a team goes full flex, especially in a tournament like this, because you know that some weird chicanery is going to go on, right? For Billings Boomers, all 6 of them have the flex slot, not anybody in a particular role. Either they're all very flexible players, or they're here for fun, or both, and I'm here for it.
But hey, I've definitely seen quite a few of these names, both just playing in my ranked games, but then also just actually commentating as well, or casting a few times. Chicanery is definitely the right word, because they're definitely going to be doing some silly stuff throughout the entire time. Even just in regular league play, I've seen them do the silly comps, I've seen them do the goofy strategies, and they're still pretty successful. So it's going to be a great match to start off here. I think they had an excellent, selection of matches, and this one is definitely one to take a look at.
Yeah, I mean, the best kind of games, in my opinion, are the ones where you can tell that the players are very obviously great at the game and excellent mechanically, and yet they still are goofing off. They're still playing just very silly. We got Ball and Farah as the bands. And am I crazy, or did we already hit the donation goal?
Oh wow, that was fast. Look at that.
One donation of $257 from Ippy brought us all the way.
That is fantastic. We really appreciate that, Ippy, because I mean that really helped us start off strong. I mean, I was waiting. I was expecting to hit it at some point during the stream, but doing it at the very start really makes me happy, because now we can just keep going for the stars, keep pushing beyond that number. So big shout outs to my man Ippy for dropping that $257 donation to get us in. But Lijiang is the map we're starting off on, and of course the ban on Farah and Wrecking Ball.
Yep.
They have a game plan coming into this here, Ty.
Yeah, I mean, the Farah ban signifies a sort of, you almost anticipate a dive style coming in, right? Maybe a brawl with something to enable the Farah, like the Wu Yang type of composition. That kind of tells for the Farah, but also I feel like the Ball is kind of, something you'd usually see with Farah. So one team banning Farah or one team banning Ball. The other team may not need to ban the subsequent hero that we saw. So it's a bit of an interesting ban from my perspective. It might be targeted bans, right? There might be a Wrecking Ball player you're specifically watching out for. There might be a Farah player you're specifically watching out for. That's kind of what I think must be going on, because otherwise it would be a bit weird to ban both those characters, in my opinion.
Yeah, to ban both of them is going to be crazy, but nothing's crazier than some Overwatch on a Friday night here. Watch Over Palestine, first map here of the Swiss stage, and we're going to be starting off hot here. Doomfist coming out here for Overworked, trying to punch him off the map, and not going to find it, though.
Yeah, I can't believe that actually connected onto the very slight lip of the bridge, and Doomfist is such a rare hero. Meanwhile, Billings Boomers are playing on this more traditional Kiri, Wu Yang, Reaper Zarya comp that, it's going to be weak early on as we see Pufa get booped off the map, but once the game starts rolling and once these perks come online and Zarya's energy comes online, this comp is going to be more and more deadly.
Yeah, I'm glad you made a point of that. It's like early on into the fights, you could definitely see like the chinks in the armor. However, once you start getting those perks going, once you start getting some, of course, of energy up for the Zarya, it makes it really hard to stop the snowball momentum that these teams tend to pick up with. And you can see right now, Billings Boomers, once they got Zarya full charge on the point, he's definitely living up to the name, living up to being the bakery and putting in the goods.
King is having such a hard time as well. Like, playing against Reaper usually isn't too hard as Doomfist, but Reaper Zarya can be a nightmare to play against as Shoreline Pie goes down as well. Bakery, yeah, the buns are cooking.
The buns are in the oven, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm wondering how they're going to make the approach here. I think they're going to probably... that's not a great start. Finding the big pick onto the Doomfist, and Poofa getting 2 eliminations. This is a support, by the way. Getting the big damage, getting the picks going early on here. And I think he's just going to go right back to it. Yeah, you definitely got to do the damage when you're playing the Wu Yang. And with Tidal Blast on the way, it's something that you can really help sustain that Zarya even longer beyond the double bubble. You've got the extra, basically a nano. And King going down again.
He's just really struggling right now, as Frozen's going to be able to walk people down for free thanks to the bubble, thanks to the Shadow Step, and Didn't Tuck Me is going to be able to find the Reaper eventually, but the damage has kind of already been done. Even though Knight will be able to get back quick, it's going to be a bit difficult unless Overtails can somehow kill Ugg.
They're actually committing here. Graviton coming out here. We have to be real careful. Doomfist is going to fall again, but he's got block to keep him alive for just a little bit longer, but not enough time. As the damage coming through here, Frozen getting a big pick on the back line, but now no support from Overworked. And despite, that pick onto the Reaper, not going to matter too much as they get, a full charge Zarya, almost impossible to disband of. And they're going to have to try to do it the old-fashioned way. Just raw brute force. As you can see, King jumping in here has the Meteor Strike incoming, and he gets the pick on the Poofa. This is a great start. Beat committed as well. Not connected on the tank, but he's still going to be able to commit with the Overclock.
And it's a necessary fight as well to win at 99%. It was 85 at the start of the fight. Another nice shot there from Shoreline Pie. She's doing a great job with that clock. And it was a necessary fight, right? You were at 85% once you lost a player. You have to commit at some point there, and you see Overworked. They dropped 4 ults into that fight. Didn't You See Me is going to have a Pulse Bomb soon, but it's nothing compared to a Tidal Blast, which I anticipate will go on to Ugg.
I'm glad you corrected me, because I would have been calling him Tuck the entire night.
Yeah, I realized a little late.
No,
I looked on the website, I was like, oh.
Oh, so that's how you pronounce it.
Oh, the capital U.
Cool. King again, playing aggressive super early in the backline, but we got Tidal Blast incoming here for Poofa, and it's up to the Doomfist to kind of disrupt this. That's the benefit of having that Tidal Blast in your back pocket. You can always do it on yourself if you really want to stay alive. Big commitment here onto the Reaper guy, looking for a pick, and you gotta be careful. You get too close and you shall perish. 2 picks from Billings Boomers might be it. They've already flipped the point before the picks even came through. And it looks like it's just cleaning up the fight so they can take this first point. Billings Boomers, the BBs, looking pretty good on this first map.
And it ultimately came down to that ult disadvantage that Overworked were playing with, right? They lost a player multiple times. They were just kind of staggering for the whole round. And then the one fight they win is where they drop 4 ults. Billings Boomers can kind of just walk back with their own set of ults. There's not really any threat, any pressure from Overworked by that point. So it was kind of a free round from Billings Boomers realistically, and the switch over onto the Reinhardt is silly. I like it. Show me it.
Yeah, keep it going. That's the way you got to do it here. You can see the stat line right now. Cam just putting in the work along with Bakery. It's crazy to me that, that anybody has deaths right now, because it feels like everybody's just never-ending, no deaths at all, just constant attention on the point. But here we go, map number 2.
And
round number 2.
Yeah, Frozen on the 4 deaths as we go on to a quick pause. Yeah, no, we're not playing the game yet. We will be going right back into it, it seems. But Frozen had 4 deaths for Billings Boomers, was the most deaths on the team. But you kind of expect that when you're playing, again, the Reaper, right? The Reaper is the resource sink. And a bit of a problem being the resource sink character, quote unquote, is the moment those resources dry up, even if you've already gotten 3 kills, you're probably going to die. It's just the situation that you find yourself in at that point. And that's why Frozen ended up with 4 deaths.
Yeah, I was commentating with Denji last night. He told me a really good analogy. Reaper's pretty much like your battery. Like that's essentially your charge to get into the fight. Oh, just when I say that, ugh. Getting a big pick onto the Tracer counterpart, Poofa following up as well, and Overworked to realize that their time is over and they're going back to spawn for a rest. But I mean, again, just it's another stagger. If you're not too careful, yeah, and June falling right there, another reset right now for Overworked here. Billings Boomers just kind of running away with it at the start here.
King just kind of pins into the fight, thinking that there might be something to be found, but there's really only going to be poke damage. The problem playing Reinhardt into this type of composition, even with Pin, is there's so much poke damage. The King is going to drop too much damage from Poofa as well as the Bakery, and there will be some chase down, but Poofa's the main target now.
Yeah, it's tough because there's so much damage on the field. You have to worry about the Reaper, the full charge Zarya, the Tracer, and of course now with the addition of Wu Yang into the mix as well, it's so difficult to try to get anything going, especially on Reinhardt. You're kind of like a very stagnant character, so you gotta really lean on your supports for when you get a little critical. And again, hard to lean on them when they're dead. June falling early on in that fight again. Suzu coming out from Cam, but alas, they still gotta wait for the reset.
There's not much leaning you can do when there's just a corpse. It's going to be a Tracer duel on the flank here as the Kitsune Rush is going to drop down. Some Tails will match on the point. The Tracer duel waiting to find a victor, but instead the Bakery is going to be the first player to find a kill. 4 HP and a punch down for Didn't You See Me as the Bakery finds another in the front line. That one Tracer kill may not matter much.
Yeah, I was going to say they won the Tracer duel, but did not win the war at the end of the day because the Kitsune Rush battle on point, not going to do too much success. Oh, just when I say that, Didn't You See Me gets a big pulse bomb. Graviton coming out as well. Beat to kind of keep them nice and healthy. Reaper getting dangerously low, so has to run for the hills, and it looks like they're going to run for their bridges, but June's going to chase them down and finally getting the picks they need most, but Zarya's still alive, still full charge. They got to disband the Zarya, and they finally do, and because they do that, they flip the point, but not before they hit an 89% very healthy lead right now in this potential second round.
Yeah, now you have to hold for Overworked. Even if you give away a cap in a fight you win, it's just more opportunities for Billings Boomers to build up ults and force ults out of you. You cannot give a cap away, which can be tough into the Reaper Tracer, but there's no Wraith Form Reaper with the Death Blossom. Hey, it's a trade, but it's one you might have to take, but the fall of Silvertails is a bit more tragic. Both perks online for Poofa means this Wu Yang is even more threatening as the Bakery finds June, and there's, I said you can't give away a cap, and they may just need to.
That is super unfortunate. I think the Reinhardt right there just tried to do a little too much, try to pin the Reaper out of his ult, and instead accidentally booped him closer to the team. Big mistake, but let's hopefully it doesn't cost him too bad. But Silvertails falls, and now it's just up to June to go touch that point. Not going to be able to make it in time. Billings Boomers, dominant first game here in the series.
Yeah, not much touching that could have been done from that point. Once the picks go in, the macro from Overworked was kind of being overran by Billings Boomers. Like, Billings Boomers generally, I feel, played the better macro in, like, all things considered, right? 89% is a point progress you never really see in pro play on control point, simply because the way that you play macro at a high level, it doesn't get to that point where you see 89%. It's 84, 85, 99 if the stall is good enough, but there wasn't much stall coming out from Billings Boomers. It was mostly just the tempo being not quite there from Overworked.
Yeah, and I think that's what Billing Boomers really capitalized on. They kind of stripped away, the small gameplay that they were trying to go for, and they kind of just made it like a steamroll type of situation. Every single time they get one pick and they just run them down. If not, they just run back to the spawn and have to reset constantly, time and time again. And you saw that's why it was such an odd percentage to kind of be at, kind of in a bad spot where like you don't have enough time to recontest, and it's not enough to essentially win one fight and close it out. So as long as Billing Boomer keeps playing like that, I don't think they're going to have any struggles to close out the series.
Yep, and a reminder, so heading into this next map, it will be Overworked's choice. Li Jiang, I believe, was the map pick for Billings Boomers, and they banned the Wrecking Ball for Billings Boomers. So that could have been a targeted ban specifically onto Overworked's tank player, right? They could have specifically been trying to ban away a comfort pick there. And if that's the case, getting the Wrecking Ball re-unlocked will be a massive boon for Overworked, as they're going to have their preferred tank pick back in that situation if it's the truth.
Yeah, and honestly, that makes sense. He's trying to really work the Doom into that first round of that first map, and it wasn't finding too much success. So at that end of the day, if they can pull out the Wrecking Ball here and it's their comfort pick, I think they're going to be really happy because, again, you only get that one ban per series, and now that ban is off the table for the remainder of their match tonight.
On the other hand, though, one ban on the Wrecking Ball might just end up being half the series, right? In a best of 3 first to 2 type of tournament, in a first to 2 match, one ban can oftentimes just be enough to get you over the hump and kind of build your momentum to get a quick 2-0. And that's why you don't see that for a situation like this, first to 2, it's for the best. But in pro play, that's why you don't see it, because that slight bit of momentum can just carry you over through map 2.
So we're going to have to see if Overworked's going to try to work that into their game plan. I mean, obviously they have a couple different flex players on their team as well that can kind of dabble in between tank and DPS. So still have options. Billing Boomers, I mean, they have 6 players, but I mean, I don't think we're going to be seeing too many swaps from them. I think most of the players, and that's what I really like about smaller rosters in general, because you can kind of all lean on each other, all kind of know what your guys' comfort picks are and know what to kind of play around with when it comes to composition choices. And especially when it comes to certain maps and certain bans, like we're seeing Suravasa here being selected, they can kind of play anything they need to.
Yeah, like especially with the flex rosters. And one thing I want to say real quick, this is a total side note on my own times, as Suravasa is map 2 for the match, which is, you know, a pretty good wrecking ball maps. Like kind of is a bit telling again, like you were kind of implying with the Doomfist. Back when I used to scrim, way back when, like online teams, which hasn't been for like 3-4 years, gosh, I'm old. It's been a while. One of the people I think I used to either play with or get managed by was unfeatured, actually, on Overworked. That's a name that I recognize from ye olde days of Overwatch 1. And if anybody remembers this, Overwatch Tranquility, that was a whole tournament organization, so I kind of want to see that guy come in just to trash talk on him a little bit, but I doubt he remembers me, so I kind of can't do that. But either way, Suravasa, I think this might be prime ballin' time.
Man, you just gave me like 4 or 5 good references. You gave me like the Thanos, I don't even know you. You gave me so many. I couldn't even keep count of them, because you were just rattling them off left and right. I was like, oh my goodness. Lucky I'm not going to interrupt, but it's still, it's a great community that everybody can kind of mesh and start to recognize each other from, like, oh, I remember what the other one was. You were like from the 3 or 4 years ago. I was like, oh man, you're not careful. You're about to hit Unk status. So you gotta be super careful with how you're speaking about these lengths of times from when you used to play online. Because I'm in the same boat as you, man. I used to play in the collegiate program, so I used to scream a lot of the online teams and stuff. And that was years ago. And Overwatch is so old, but it still feels like something I always cherish and always run to every single day.
It's a young man's game, but gosh, it is old these days. Like, it's kind of the situation that the game has come upon, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
100%. Oh man, I'm loving it out here, man. But let's take a look at the bans for map number 2. Obviously, we saw the Pharah and Wrecking Ball being banned. So what are you thinking here, Ty?
I mean, Lucio is a good one to go for if you're Billings Boomers, if you're anticipating the Wrecking Ball being an issue, because it forces Overworked to potentially stay on the Wu Yang, to look at, you know, the Brig, maybe even Alari or Juno as some weirder off-meta picks. You know, Lifeweaver, I'm sure we're all kind of anticipating is getting some buffs come the new season, Season 19, but it ain't there yet. So the Lucio ban kind of forces the Wu Yang playstyle, so would expect not Billing Boomers, but Overworked to go for a complementary ban to kind of prevent the Wu Yang. But the question is, how do you do that without banning support? I guess maybe you go for Zarya, Reaper?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you either ban the Reaper or Zarya here just to kind of take away that opportunity for Wu Yang to really thrive in their composition choice. It's really going to just slow the whole momentum of the game down in general when you take away a Lucio. So, I mean, that's where sometimes the off-meta pick like Juno really come to thrive, just because then you can start picking up the pacing, you start to speed your team into the engagements or out of engagements, so you can really start to increase the tempo, so to speak. But it really relies on the tank that both of these teams decide to opt with, because I mean, there's a lot faster tanks, obviously Wrecking Ball being one of the faster tanks in the game, but you still have pretty quick ones like JQ and Hazard, and even Orisa is considered, you know, now to be one of the faster ones with the addition of her twirl.
Yeah, and there's also, like, God forbid I say it, Mauga. How dare I?
You notice how I skipped over Malgar, right? I tried to.
I did notice, but, you know, if we're going to bring it up in the conversation, I feel like it's only right to bring him up.
You know, you got to call a spade, right? So it's at the end of the day, I think Malga might also be another character, unless, you know, they could always, you know, if they expect any of the tanks to play it, you know, you ban the Kiriko, and it pretty much nullifies the potential of that, just because how threatening the antis from Ana can be.
Right, exactly. The Lucio ban kind of immediately, you know, pushes away from the Mauga as well, so I don't think that'll be necessarily a concern, because if you want to play Mauga, you kind of need that Kiriko, like you say, and what, you're going to play Kiri Brig with Mauga? Like, that's just not going to happen. So I do think we're going to be looking more at tanks like Ramatra or Risa. That ball might be played a little bit, right? Hazard, like you were saying earlier. If we really want to play a mobile tank, as Zarya is the ban, makes total sense. You could look at Doomfist again, right? For Overworked.
Yep, and here it is. So, yep, we saw the Zarya. It was one of those things that we expected. It had to have been either Reaper or Zarya, right? You're not going to ban Wu Yang in that case. Don't want to just throw it away, but great selection nonetheless. I think this is a great call by Overworked.
Exactly. Like, you can't even ban the Wu Yang, right? Because you can't ban same role in a map. So the only option really becomes, like you say, Zarya or Reaper. I think the Zarya is kind of, the best option there, because it more strictly limits compositions, whereas if you ban Reaper, Venture can quite handily fill that vacant slot that Reaper leaves, in my opinion. That's something that I remember when I still scrimmed a lot in Collegiate, I was playing the Venture Zarya comp right when they came out, right when Venture was a character playable. We immediately started scrimming that and started like trashing on teams, because it's really good into uncoordinated teams.
Yeah, especially with like the chaos that you can really cause with that. I mean, it's already difficult to eliminate Venture off of the playing field when they burrow underground, but then you add the bubble into the mix on top of that. Oh, forget about it. It's almost impossible to try to eliminate them off the playing field. But thankfully, I'm not seeing any Venture being played at the moment.
Instead, I do see a bit of a strange character. He got some buffs in the most recent patch, which was the Roadhog, a bit of a weird, oddball character that has seen a spike in viability, and it does look like Overworked going to leave spawn with it as well. Yeah, Hog Hazard.
Wow.
Hog is so good into Hazard, man. I say as a Hazard main.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think it's definitely a scouted moment right there, because they just didn't want to have to deal with the Zarya pick. So again, Hazard being played here from Billings Boomers, but Overworked scouting it, going for the Roadhog pick, looking for a connection on the hook, not going to be able to find it, and immediately has to back up. So that's where you're really leaning onto your tank here. You're waiting for them to get that hook, get that initial pick off here. Wu Yang getting dangerously low, but Cam getting the pick onto Silvertails. Just when I say that, who's countering who in this comp? Frozen falling to the Roadhog.
That's a Sato on the flank moment if you old has it. I mean, the hook, it's gorgeous on a Poofa, but Poofa survives. Thanks to the dash away. That's a dead roast pork.
Yep, good call right there. But again, that was dangerously close for it really working out for OW, for Overworked, and winning that fight with just off of 2 big hooks. But you got to be real careful. You got to slow it down. Your Roadhog is very slow at coming back here until he gets that perk that kind of gives him that little speed boost. So not trying to get picked too early on in this fight, and Frozen getting dangerously low, forced to use Fade and back up into this fight. Hazard already pestering the backline, and he's getting hooked out of position, and thanks to the Reaper damage as well, the tank falls.
Yeah, just the hook, putting the Spike Guard on a 1-second cooldown inherently is so good, and with no Wraith form as well on point Frozen, just Shoreline Pie, she just stares at him like, what were you intending to do there in the cap? It'll come through for Overworked, the Hog comp. Weird that this is looking so good for them right now, because they didn't pull it out at all last map.
100%. And I think Billings Movers is pretty happy with this percentage regardless, because in Flashpoint, takes a lot faster than Control, so you have a bigger opportunity, and King's got to be real careful. If he's not too careful, he might be eliminated here. Forced to jump back. He's got Tidal Blast if he needs it. Nano on the way as well. Oh, you see the hook coming out here, and didn't you see me asking the ultimate question? Sleep Dart onto Frozen, forced to use Fade early on here. We got Tidal Blast if we need to. Boomers using their ultimate first, and Overworked retaliating with their own.
It's a whole hog nano boost, but there's no valid targets a hook will be Wraith formed out of, as Poofa barely survives that one as well as Cam, but both supports will be healed up. The Tidal Blast, like you say, Shoreline Pie is the target, but there's no good targets for the Tidal Blast past the ally it's hit with. And yet, they so win the fight.
Yep. Oh man! All of a sudden, okay, I thought Frozen would be able to, do a 1 versus 100 type deal and kind of turn the tides a little bit, but still 2 big picks here. But now 90% counting it with no Lucio to kind of speed your team in. It's going to be kind of a desperation touch for Billings Boomers.
There will be the Hazard able to touch, of course, the Bakery, with the Violent Leap, with the Spike Guard, just has so much defense compared with that offense. King TF is going to trade 1. It's a tank kill for a tank kill so far, and Silvertails finally breaks things open as well as King finding another. This looks like a fight easily won right now for Overworked. Even with the Blossom thrown in, it's just icing on the cake. The Billings Boomers, they're going to lose that, and Overworked don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, these Overworked is really happy right there because they just baited out one of those crucial ultimates that you gotta pay attention to. But at the end of the day, I don't think Froza's gonna care too much because you have to worry about Sleep Dart, you've got to worry about the slam from Wu Yang, and you have to worry about Hook. So at that point, you just throw it out and it's hope for like a miracle play. It's not gonna lose you too much out of it.
This is their spawn. This is their spawn, man. You're just in the spawn killing the Kiriko. You know, hey. I do it in my game. Deserved. Kiriko deserves to have that happen.
I don't care if it's their spawn mom. I wanted them dead. You see right now. It's about sending a message, right?
Exactly.
Oh man, everybody's so low on Overworked. Susan coming out in the nick of time. Wow, this is really good. Oh my goodness, what happened? So many ultimates being committed there in that fight. I thought for sure that Billings Boomers would be able to win that fight off of the backs of, you know, a big pick from UG. But all of a sudden, the Reaper ult and Nano coming out from Overworked, turning that fight completely around.
Yeah, the special move, very powerful, especially with that Nano boost applied. I'm not sure if Silvertails has the perk, the tier 1 perk that allows for you to give a speed boost with Nano boost. But Dire Trigger's now online for Frozen is going to give them a lot more range pressure, as well as, of course, you've got the Shadow Blink. I almost forgot about it for a second.
Look at that. I also forgot, June said at the very start of the round, they said as many times as you kill King in this map here, they're going to donate $1 into our donation. So I don't want to root for somebody to fall, but you know, $1 is a big number each and every time.
Explains the hog, and more so explains the Ana. King hates charity is what I'm learning right now.
Oh man, I love to see it. Love to see it.
The whole hog here, though, like with this rotation, a nice hook as well into the bakery, this is the perfect point to have a whole hog because you could just push people off the map, push people off the point, but the bakery just gets pushed into Shoreline Pie. I'm pissed if I'm Shoreline Pie.
Oh my goodness. That is crazy work right there. And even, again, Frozen popping that ultimate, immediately getting whole hogged away, and there's another $1 going into the donation bin. June is very happy right now because that means another successful fight win for Billings Boomers. So, gonna lose money, but I'm gonna win the fight at the end of the day.
Some may call that worth, and I would agree. The Overclock coming in here for UG is the only ult for Billings Boomers right now, but with the Nano coming up soon, they will be able to sustain in this fight pretty well to match what Silvertails is going to put out, as long as they can survive for the second or two after the Nano boost goes up, and, you know, with the immediate kill onto Don't You See Me, they will be able to survive.
Oh my goodness, and man, another big fight win here for Billings Boomers. Looks like they're going to be able to tie things up here. 1 round apiece. Good start here. And I think the JQ, is an amazing option when dealing with the Roadhog. Just because, I mean, sure, you have to worry about the anti coming out from the Ana, but then getting yanked out of position, and King immediately recognized that, swapping over to the Ramatra.
Yeah, Ramatra is, I mean, he got nerfed pretty hard, but I think we've seen over the course of the past couple of weeks, past few weeks, couple months, Ramatra's kind of fine right now. Like, he's in an okay spot. The Nambus goes on to Frozen straight into the backline, but, I mean, it's not going to do much. It's actually the Bakery who ends up finding kills. That's 2. Both backliners have been ripped apart.
Ooh, and yeah, didn't you see me saying we got to shut that down? But, I mean, the damage is already done. Bakery's already taking your support line out of the fight entirely. I don't think Bakery's going to, you know, shy away from that fight at all. He's definitely going to try to do that one more time because, hey, guess what? Pulse Bomb's on a limited cooldown. Me running to your backline and eliminating your supports is for free.
Exactly right. No more Pulse Bomb is... No, it's not the slowest ult in the game, right? Probably the fastest is Frozen kills Shoreline Pie as the half goes on. I looked away for 2 seconds and now I have no clue what's going on, but, you know, that's Overwatch that happens sometimes. And Nano boost onto King as the Annihilation... Not the Annihilation. Man, I'm losing it right now. Rampage goes in. It's a big trade on both sides. Everybody's dying, everybody's killing.
I want to say, I don't know. How did King get up there? I mean, yeah, you're saying you look away for half a second, and it's like me with dealing with my cats. Like I'm paying attention to them. They're rapscaling, and I look back, and half of my cats are on top of the refrigerator. So same exact situation. I look up and I see King. He's like, "How did you get up there, Ramatra? Get down from there. Go back to the point where you belong." But man, that was a big mistake from Billings Boomers. That whole fight that was happening, the point just randomly flipped over to Overworked, and they lost a ton of percentage.
What I'm saying is, if Overworked wins this point, then that'll be more opportunities for King to die, which is what we're hoping for charity's sake. As Silvertails is going to get Ugg, that's a good way to start off the fight for Overworked. The title blast, where does it go? Does it go to people?
Goes to the Reaper. Shoreline popping the ultimate out. So nice, so crucial right there. Shoreline jumping to the back line, forcing out the Suzu, and it pretty much spells go time for King TF as he's going to go in for the Annihilation. And Frozen again just trying to find some sort of success with that Reaper ult. Not going to find too much there. And a 2-round lead here for Overworked.
Thank you for the donation, by the way, Anonymous, with the big 2601. That Annihilation was paired with the Death Blossom was not a big investment compared to what Billings Boomers put in, right? They had a Kitsune Rush early on, they had the Blossom, they had the Tidal Blast all going around the same time. They're not going to have ultimates coming into this fight for any time soon, but they're still going to find the kills. It's another $1 into the pockets.
Hey, that's good for us here, good for the charity. Not good for Overworked, because it means they're going back to the spawn. As you can see, again, that's what's so important with the Junker Queen, because I mean, it's so much less riskier than Roadhogs, because like when you have to go for a hook or something like that, you have to commit a lot. You have to pretty much put yourself stagnant, but with the Junker Queen knife, with Gracie, you can just send it, you know, an infinite distance practically, and then they just hope it connects and then just rip it back to your team.
It's a small thing as well, but the hook, using hook also gives you a very significant slow for a second there as Ugg is being hunted down by Did You See Me deletion. Get out of here as Did You See Me easily handles the Tracer 1v1.
They were both trying to crouch walk, but it does not matter. Did you see me asking the ultimate question again? Sitting in the back line, 3 big picks, trying to make it 4. It's basically going to work on a team kill situation here as Overworked ripping the point from Billings Boomer's hands at 52%. They're happy with that percentage, but you know how it goes. Very momentum based in Flashpoint, because now we got 5 ultimates upcoming here for Overworked.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to win the Tracer 1v1. It's because it's not just about getting the kill, it's more important to stop the enemy Tracer just in case they can kill 4 in a fight, right? And that's what we saw there by Didn't You See Me, just deleting people, Kitsune Rush, all the ultimates all of a sudden, as the Kitsune Rush goes on the other side as well, hunting somebody down, King, but your arms ain't that big, they don't stretch that far.
Man, Cam immediately sprinted for the hills the moment they saw a big Ramattra chasing him. You gotta be careful, your Tidal Blast coming out from both of the teams. Not going to find too much success with it, but Pulse Bomb on the back line, as well as the Reaper, in addition, does plenty of damage to help close out that fight. The Elims on the back line is going to be so important throughout the rest of this series.
99% was where King died on the Annihilation charge, which is important because now having the Annihilation for this upcoming fight as DPS passive nearly allows for Didn't You See Me to get Cam, but this will be an opportunity for Overworked to walk in and end the map here 3-1 with the Annihilation, but they need to get through this Death Blossom first, and if they do, it's those 2 ultimates alone.
Right, and you would think here right now, in their minds, they're saying, we got to close it out right here. We just commit our ultimates, do a big fight here, and win this fight. And with Frozen running for the hills, I think they're going to capitalize on it, and they do! Big damage to the backline. Frozen just trying their best to keep their team's hopes alive here, but it's not going to happen. Team kill situation for Overworked, and they got to find a way back to the point, and fast, because 80% ticks very fast here in Flashpoint.
And worst part of that is that Billings Boomers supports died first. And obviously that's bad, but it's worse because they're the slowest players in the team. Frozen back on the Widowmaker, it doesn't matter much as Ugg is going to nearly drop, and there's another $1 at the winning moments as Overworked will win the map simply off of how well they played.
Man, so close. If Ugg was able to make that touch right there, that would have been a huge pick for Billings Boomers. They would have been able to go into that fight with ultimates without the tank from Overworked, but because of the Tracer duel, I think Didn't You See Me was putting, you know, the team, God's work on his back, so to speak, and just keeping their team's hopes alive, but just hunting that backline down time and time again.
Yeah, that was a bit of a one-player show, I think that we can agree, from Didn't You See Me. Like, obviously, it was great play all around, but Didn't You See Me going crazy in the Tracer duels, crazy on the backline, crazy. The only thing I'm wanting more of is some big pulse bombs, because a 2-3k pulse bomb will make me lose my marvels? It'll make me lose my marvels, apparently, as well as my marbles.
I could tell there. These guys are definitely rivals in the situation. See what I did there?
I do see what you did there.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. It's gonna be a long weekend. If you guys are sticking it out with me, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry for this match that we're gonna be having on our screen, because that was a big turnaround for Overworked.
Yeah, nothing to apologize about when the game is looking great. Overworked is able to, like you say, turn things around. Map 1 didn't look great from them. Billings Boomers kind of showed absolute domination, and with the bans not really mattering all too much, as it turns out, from Map 1, right? The Wrecking Ball didn't seem to be a particularly important pick, neither the Pharah, neither of which came out on Map 2. The Map 2 bans ended up being more impactful, specifically the Zarya. I think that is the key thing to bring up for Overworked. The thing that really changed for them, they didn't have to play against Zarya. And now they will have to, but now they have the opportunity to ban away something like the Kiriko, ban away something like the Wu Yang, not the Lucio, but the Wu Yang. They have the opportunity to ban away Reaper this time as well. They have, the world is kind of their oyster now after Map 2.
And that's the thing of, like, where I was telling people earlier, it's a really delicate balance of, like, knowing who to ban and knowing when to ban it. Because you said it earlier too, it's great, because if you take that first map wave from them, that's already half the score line down. It's only a first to 2, so we could just close this out right away with a quick 2-0 and just shut them down before they get anything started. But now going into map number 3 in a first 2 situation, it just makes it that much more, I don't want to say like frustrating, but like it's very antsy. Like you don't want to try to give it away too early on here.
It's very delicate, I think, is the word I would use. Like, it can very easily, shift one way or the other on how things go. And I mean, with the way that things have opened up here, I think that you've given yourself another opportunity to, figure out how you want to play against Zarya, right? That's another small thing, is that now you can talk about it. Now you can just simply have a conversation. Like you could after map 1, but then you could also just be like, all right, we need a little bit more time. That can happen now with this extra bit of time.
Yeah, definitely going to help out a ton. So again, big thank you everybody for donating directly into the charity itself. Again, we still got a few more rewards left to redeem as well. If you guys want some stickers, again, all the money that you donate goes directly to the charity itself, as well as even if you want to get some stickers for yourself, that money still goes to the charity. It goes to a great cause. So please go !donate and donate as much or as little as you can. Any little bit helps. It goes to an amazing charity that takes care of a ton of things. So
it's a good cause and it's an important cause, and that's really the ones that matter, especially in this day and age. And I'm happy to be a part of this. I really am. And I kind of brought it up at the very start of this, but I want to reiterate just that I am very grateful to be a part of something like this. And I'm very glad that, again, the Overwatch community came together for something like this. It's very cool.
Yeah, it's something we're like really passionate about. So, I mean, we really care about, the life that, people give, and the situation with Palestine. It's one of those things that we care about it. We also love Overwatch. So why not bring the both together? And again, BPL have been doing an amazing job with it. I think this is their 2nd or 3rd year running it. So again, they did amazing time last time they did it. We had an original goal set of $1,000. We blew past that. So we set $1,750, and guess what? We blew past that again. We set $22.25, and look what happened. We blew past it again, and this is only day number 1. We still got 3 more days of Overwatch happening tonight. So now we set a new goal of $3,000, and I know we could definitely hit it by the end of this weekend.
And just to put that in perspective real quick, that's triple the original goal. That is 3 times the amount that was expected to be made at the very start of this. That's just the goal now. That's just how much, we're hoping for here. And that's just kind of sick that things have come together for them, or for everybody like that. That's just very cool and very PogChamp.
Yeah, for real. And especially with you guys competing as well, willing to donate as well into it, just by doing silly things like, hey, if we take this tank down a couple more times, I'll drop another $10 into it. So it really does mean a lot to us, to all of us here at BPL.
Yep. And I think you already brought it up. Did you bring up the stickers again? Because I just wanted.
Yep. Yeah, okay, I was telling them about it.
Yep. I just want to make sure. You didn't bring it up?
I did, but I didn't mention the guaranteed stream slot, if you want to tell them about that.
Yep, so for $100, you can guarantee a specific team plays at a specific time. That is the guaranteed stream slot. If I can get the exact wording real quick. It's available for one team, one time only. So a little bit of FOMO there, but it's for a good cause. Guarantee we broadcast your next match for $100. It's a good cause. It's a good thing to go for. So $100 guarantees that slot. And map 3 has been selected, and we're going back to Control, heading over to Ilios, the highest funded map, the highest funded Control map, not the highest funded map overall.
Yep, and I mean, hey, they won map number 1. It was on Control, so why not go back to what we know? Go back to what we know works. And you can see, speaking of works, Overworked banning the D.Va here.
Yeah, the D.Va's such a weird ban. I don't know if I like that one. When you could go over to something like, I mean, it makes sense for something like Ilios if you want to play, main tank styles, right? Maybe you want to protect the Winston. Maybe you want to, ban away something that you feel synergizes to play against the ball. Because Zarya's not great here, right? Especially with how good Winston and Ball can be on Ilios. So you're not too concerned about the Zarya style, but the Widow ban kind of clarifies, I think, why you would ban the D.Va. You want to ban away something that can threaten a Widow and kind of, force the Widow ban as well a little bit there. Like Winston obviously is good, but a lot of players nowadays don't have a Winston just because he's been so nightmarish to play in ranked and in scrims as well.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, looking back at it, I mean, they banned Pharah early on. I wonder if Pharah might be an option that their own players are willing to go for. I think maybe they kind of thought it in the back of their mind, like, okay, we're going to save Pharah towards the end of our series, maybe if we need it the most. Maybe Pharah is going to be played here. They do have a couple of subs that they can kind of tag people in and out for, and banning D.Va kind of opens up the playing field for a lot of different compositions.
Yeah, like the Pharah is the big one that you brought up. It's also Echo. Echo is pretty good. Like in a situation where D.Va is gone, that both of those characters are actually very good into the Zarya Reaper, type of playstyle. So in a way, banning D.Va can help you more effectively play into the Zarya in a sort of, rock paper scissors, format where, or I guess rock paper scissors ideology, mental state. I don't know exactly what the word is I'm looking for here. But when you have to think about, all right, what beats Zarya, then what beats that? You ban away the thing that beats the thing.
Yep, that kind of makes sense. And that's ultimately what it comes down to as well for like a lot of that rock, paper, scissors mindset. It's like, okay, you swap, now I swap, and then you swap and I swap. Oh yeah, I forgot they had the donations thing. So June dropping the $26 for the role swap and for the King's Death. So looks like June is going to be picking the roles for Billings Boomers. So man, what a time to be playing Overwatch right now. A lot of fun here.
I did not realize that was one of the rewards. I didn't even see it when I was looking through, but I also kind of did, I guess, skim it a little bit too hard. But I mean, that's going to shake things up a little bit. But I mean, at the same time, if there's any team that if any team is okay with having to hit the shuffle button and kind of switch around the roles, it's the one where every player has entered as flex, right? Like, I think that's the best case scenario.
And we saw earlier a very flexible team when it comes to Billings Boomers, so I don't think they're too afraid of it. Yeah. But obviously, going into a final map like this, they're like, oh man, I hope I don't get support, or I hope I don't get DPS, because it's like, those are one of my not strongest roles, but I definitely still know how to make it work.
Yeah, put your hit scan player on tank, see how that goes, right? Like, you'll figure out real quick.
You'll see, they'll be going Mauga almost immediately, or JQ.
Right, it'll probably be Queen, right? Like, not enough people hate themselves enough to play Mauga, but Queen is great. The Hog is, oh my god, Hog on Ilios, well, we're going to see Hog. It's happening.
I think Well, if Well comes into the map, I know for a fact we're going to see at least one Roadhog, maybe even the duel, just so they can see who's going to hook who into the hole.
I mean, it's a tradition, right? Just like how Torb Hammer 1v1s are a tradition, depending on the format. Like the Battle of the Bottoms happened today, which is a hilarious name for a show match between Quick and Dildux, and they decided map 1 based on a Torb Hammer 1v1. But it's like things like that, just tradition in Overwatch, and we have to see the hook v hook.
Oh, it's almost required. It's like legally binding at this point.
Yes. Absolutely. But at the same time, if your main support gets put onto tank, then you have a pretty bad shot, I feel, at the Hog mirror.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, I play a lot with my family, so putting my little sister on tank is one of those one of those nights where I'm just like expecting not to see a whole lot of success. Occasionally might see a huge like random 5K Diva Bomb, but at the end of the day, that's all we're really hoping for. So we're gonna definitely see what the June mindset is gonna go for picking certain roles and putting them in certain spots.
Right, and I mean, I that's another thing I didn't even consider is being able to pick your other team's roles. Like at first I was just thinking like from the mindset of shuffling, but literally being able to choose who plays what lets you just be so chaotic with it. Like especially with open career profiles, you just see who's like silver on tank or something and you just throw it in, right?
It's like, oh yeah, that guy's going straight onto tank. We're putting him onto there.
I want you on Winston, please.
Indubitably.
Yes, quite so, chap. Yes.
Oh man, I'm excited, man. And now we don't have to worry about Diva either here. So at this point, I think the sky's the limit when it comes to these comps. So hey, if you throw a DPS onto support, they always have the Alari in their back pocket if they need it.
That as well, and you know Juno is a bit of a DPS support in my opinion at the very least, with her insane mobility and you know the fact that she's a hit scan, the fact that she has 85 damage on torpedoes, which I'm always going to bring up whenever the opportunity arises. There's a few heroes per role that if you switch off, like the best part about doing that reward as well is not a lot of the role intermingling heroes are good on Ilios, right? Like the tank DPS are like Bastion, Reaper, Mei. Then you got like Juno, Alari. Alari is good on Well, to keep going back to Well, I guess. But I mean, then you go over to things like Sim. Sim's not great here, right?
I don't know. I love. I mean, I guess I'm a Sim player now, so I guess I can't really talk about it too much. But it's fun. I just like TP and like Diva Bombs. I'll just make the Diva drop the Diva Bomb on the floor, like for real. I'm like, trust me. And the next thing you know, they get a 5K, and they're like, all right, I trust you with everything.
Doctor, are you sure this will work?
But it looks like the map is ready here. It looks like our teams are loading in here for a final map here in round 1 of the Swiss stage. Gonna settle it here on Ilios. June picking the team composition for Billings Boomers.
Yeah, and I mean, main support on tank, as it was either going to be the hit stand or the main support. It had to be, right? Of
course. And then, funny enough, you see Frozen getting moved over to support as well. That's what you got to do. If you're a DPS player, you just go straight to Zenyatta, right? It's another DPS, essentially.
I didn't even consider the presence of Zen as well. Unfeatured actually does come in, and he I think almost dropped off the map, but he knows what he's doing with the grapple. So it'll be weird to see Queen Zen Lucio. There's not much healing to keep a tank alive, especially when he wants to brawl this much.
Boy, they are definitely cooking with this comp, man. This is definitely a comp of all time. But yes, hey, look, they've got the point presence to start off, I think. Frozen getting the pick onto Din Usimi as well. And Wrecking Ball just trying to help clean up this backline here. But just jumping around, nowhere near the team, but I guess doesn't need to really heal him too much when you're doing all the damage.
Yeah, I mean, the trade is good. That will mean that I think Overworked will have the advantage there. Moonrat, thank you for the donation. As the cap does come through for Billings Boomers, I expect the cap to switch at some point because Frozen's going to take a second to get back. Meanwhile, Overworked are going to have 5 quicker.
Man, this is interesting. Bakery going for a Genji pick. Not something like, even if you're like a casual DPS player, Genji not very easy.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of like one of those tank DPS in a way. You know what I mean? Like, especially when you saw early on in Overwatch 2, the off-tank role kind of got moved over to Genji, and now I feel at this day and age, tank players, when they move over to DPS, kind of are good at Genji.
Yeah, I mean, we all saw that one moment where Super got to play Genji in the Overwatch League. We remember that day.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of when you mentioned it. I was like, oh man, I remember it. It made me want to play Genji. It's the reason why I actually started playing Genji. Just like the reason I want to go back to playing Tracer right now is because of Cam getting 2 picks. 3 picks! Support, by the way. Oh my goodness. He said, hold that. He is ready.
That's
he is ready.
Unfeatured moves over to the Queen. And I mean, that's crazy. Like, if I am so mad at my team right now. If I am Cam watching my Tracer get obliterated for the first 2 maps, and I'm able to do that in the first 2 minutes, I'm furious.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know what June is saying. Poofa is unpooptured? I don't even know what that means, but uh-oh, Blade coming out here from Bakery! Gets one, looking for more. Not able to find it with the swinging baseball bat. Gotta be careful though. Getting a little too dangerous, getting a little too close to the sun, but the tank falls from Overworked, and he goes back over to the Wrecking Ball just to try to touch the point. And look at this, Billings Boomers have full control of this map right now. 94% and counting. Might be able to close this out with a clean 100-0.
Attendance online as well means it's almost guaranteed with no Rampage on the other side of things, and with a faded away Tidal Blast and the Bakery finding one, the Cat may be switched, Poofa may go down, and wait a second, I didn't realize Billings Boomers were in the other team's spawn. They're playing the Touch the Spawn Door challenge, not the Win the Game challenge.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't try to quiz me on which spawn was which, because I definitely would have been turned around. Just like I'm turned around, like I'm really curious to see, you know, who really is playing DPS here, because I mean, it feels like Cam and Bakery are still playing really solid DPS despite playing their off roles.
I mean, again, they are listed as flex players, so it does make some sense to a certain extent, as Frozen as well has been going off so far on the Zen. Another shot there, headshot onto Silvertails. They will barely survive, but the Discord orb tells you exactly where they're going for the moment. And Cam finding Didn't You See Me? It's clean up here, and only 1 player remains. A teleport on point. It doesn't mean much.
Whoopsies. Did not mean to do that one. Was a little too close to the edge, and you see him falling off the map right there. Kind of a mistake, but I don't think it's going to matter too much as they take the first round here. My Poofa.
Oh, my Poofa
my darling.
is gone. My Poofa is dead.
Oh man.
They should let Junker Queen fly after Rampage so that you never die doing that again.
Oh, wait, was she just gonna helicopter her carnage?
Yeah.
That is some definitely some creativity. Keep Ty out the kitchen.
Just no, like, you know how a Lari ult, after you shoot it, you keep flying? That with Rampage, except you make Rampage omnidirectional, and she just flies with the Rampage afterwards.
That's gonna be the next April Fool's update, I tell you. Just like Reinhardt gonna be able to fly. Just, I'm telling you, to put you on the balance team. Don't do it.
Do it. The hazard coming out here for Unfeatured is, I gotta say, the Lucia Zen did work last round, so I mean, I think that my conspiracy theory of Lucio or Zen Moira being the worst support comp might be reaffirmed with that.
But looks like UG made a little bit of a mistake overstaying their welcome, but man, Unfeatured is kind of playing mystery heroes right now. Like 4 different tanks in the span of this first, you know, couple of minutes of this map here, and it looks like he's going to find the most success with the hazard.
At the very least, to start right into the Junker Queen, Hazard can kind of do a little bit of dancing around and do some fancy feet footwork to make him more difficult to hit, as well as getting big tank trades, and Sky deletes Cam somehow. Have no idea how that happens, but looking more like a support player on DPS.
Okay, looks like they're in pretty good control right now. They have Silvertails kind of sitting in the back line, just keeping their tank nice and healthy here, able to kind of dictate the pacing. Uh-oh, just when I say that, just looking for some type of help. We gotta be careful, the ice block is not gonna be enough there. The jagged blades was not enough to keep your team alive, and you see, because of that botched jagged edge, not gonna be able to keep their team alive.
Yeah, the jagged wall blocking off Frozen's escape, as well as UG ends up switching over to the Kiriko, the DPS player classic usually, when you see you don't have an opportunity to keep playing Lucio because you're not good at it as a DPS player. I've been there. So you go over to Kiriko instead. It's based. I respect it.
Darth Naku, I appreciate you dropping the $25 donation. Again, it's going directly to the UNRWA, but what's not going to go to UNRWA is this sleep dart as it goes directly to the bakery. And it looks like they're closing early on that bakery. No ultimate equals no fun. Whoa, what a dive in. That was sick.
We quite literally all said, what a sleep, or some variant of those 3 words, because I said, wow, that sleep, and then you said that sleep, and then in the chat, I saw Bakery said, what a sleep.
Even Bakery couldn't even, as the Genji player, you gotta respect some of those sleep darts that are just so incredibly, like, difficult to hit. And even Bakery couldn't hold it back. He was just like, you know what? I respect it. Even though my blade is gone, GG's. Nice shot. Or NS.
And it's another dollar into the bank, right? Which you'll always be happy about. And I will say that, you know, you do expect to see Hazard with this first perk. The Deep Leap is, you know, just more mobility is always good. I always advocate for mobility perks above all else, and that's the perfect example as to a great example.
Oh my goodness! No! I was not able to get away! That's what we're talking about. That perk made a big difference right there, because him just jumping into that fight and just kind of keeping the pressure on the support.
Callbacks, brother! Sorry, he missed like 8 shots. I had to say something.
I was gonna say that one hurt you. That one triggered you.
that one, something primal within me needed to get something out there.
I felt that. That one came from the heart.
There's still 2 ults here for Overworked.
Tidal Blast coming in. He's gonna slide in, but luckily he got stuck on the wall, but not gonna be able to survive. And you can see right now, Overworked is trying to commit the ultimates here to try to close out this round. Take us to a final round, take us to the well, and definitely could do that with another pick, but no touch C9 on the point.
Great
Unfortunate.
Use of the overclock. Yeah, just great use of the overclock there from Shoreline Pie. She did it partially for the care rampage, partially for the zoning, right? But also just kind of blew up Poofa. You'll see a lot of Sojourns recently will go with the Disruptor Shot tier 1 perk, which is I believe a 30% slow. But I still do really believe in the overcharged perk, which gets you up to 150 maximum charge during overclock. Simply put, I just think that's better by giving you those one-shots during ult. I think that is higher value overall.
Oh, 100%. And one of those things, like, if you ask a lot of the pros, they'll agree with you. They would say go 100% on the overclock. I'm more the slow down disruptor type of guy, but then again, this is why I'm not in the OWCS and I'm more on the microphone. But it's neither here nor there, because now we're seeing Poofa on the Roadhog, and it looks like people are going the well, and no Life Weaver means I cannot pull you out.
Yeah, I mean, the Bakery doesn't need to be pulled out. Instead, needs to be, you know, reined in, it seems. Immediately kill Skye, and Ugg is in the grave already.
Oh, Silvertails. 2 picks on the Ana. This is a great start, and now hunting for the Roadhog. No, Poofa not able to get the hook off in time and just kind of stuck in the corner, and is going to be stuck in the grave as he falls right there. Big turnaround here for Overworked, or I'm sorry, for Billings Boomers here.
Just great kills. I don't know how Silvertails finds 2 kills just out there in the open like that. Frozen was, I think, maybe a little bit too deep. The Immortality field only was on Frozen, so I don't know where you could be positioned to where that's the case.
He heard you about the missed shots. He's not. You say, you know what? You're right. I'm not going to miss any more shots here. Just being 100% accurate. Giving the hey shout outs to the people. You can see Tracer touching the spawn door. Touch spawn door challenge complete.
It's an important challenge. It's one that I play for every day in real life.
Of course.
I don't know what that means. Shoreline Pie, it's nice Poofa, though.
Yeah, I was like, man, you're cooking tonight. I like it. Uh-oh, and Billings Boomers capitalizing finally on Overworked, overstaying their welcome. They wanted to try to touch spawn doors and go right ahead. You can do that, but it's going to come at a cost. 2 big picks here from the side of BB, but they got to do a little bit more if they want to try to flip this point over, and it's at 50% already, so if I'm Overworked, I'm pretty happy. Win or loss here.
And you brought up earlier that Unfeatured was playing a lot of tanks, Tidal Blast and Nano Boost, I think. No, just the Nano was applied to the Hazard as Bakery gets removed from the map, and Poofa's trying to match the amount of tanks being played by Unfeatured with this Reinhardt that is now put back into the spawn room as Shoreline Pie finishes that kill, and look at how close they were to capping right there.
Yeah, there's like, I can't even see any type of like transparent overlay, so that's how I know it was like at 99.9%. So just a little bit extra time on that, you know, on that objective would have been the difference between them having to rush the point right now versus them going to be able to close out map number 3. And again, this is the final map here. It's only 1st to 2, so it all comes down to this. And right now, Overworked is looking completely relaxed right now because they've got them all in their spawn right now. Silvertails as well, playing the spawn door challenge and doing it successfully. And I don't think anybody's going to be able to touch on Billings Boomers as Overworked takes the first round of the Swiss stage.
Yeah, there's nothing more to be done there. It's a great turnaround for Overworked, right? They did, you know, have a bit of a change of fortunes in map 3 by literally changing everybody's roles, right? But they did deserve the match win after map 2 showed that they can get an effective hero ban system going. Then map 3, there was a lot of fight back from Billings Boomers, but ultimately Overworked did still perform at a level that, they deserved the win ultimately.
Yep. And that's what I tell people. I think it's just the people that are willing to grind it out. It makes a big difference. Also kind of having the team's role position in your hands also makes a big difference. So we're gonna have to see if that makes its approach throughout the rest of the tournament here to this weekend. So again, big congratulations to Overworked taking that first win. It's only Swift stage, so it's not like they're going to losers, and it's not like it's like a sudden death type of thing. They have a lot more matches to be played, and it looks like they're gonna be having a lot more fun here tonight.
Yeah, and I do want to bring up again, it is top 4 per region, right? The top 4 in NA are the teams that will move on after this. So, for Overworked, this does set you up quite well to move forward throughout the rest of the Swiss stage and, take on the rest of the teams in their area, right? Like Fried Puppies already finished their match. Big Chunga already finished their match. That's a team that you're looking to beat probably. Greg and the Unks as well. Like, you've got some teams in your general vicinity that you're looking to continue to beat for Overworked, and the same thing for Billings Boomers. I think that the cutoff is probably going to be 3-1. I think that's what the match record is going to have to be to stay in top 4. I think that we're not going to see 4-4-0 teams. I don't think that a 2-2 team will make it. It's 3-1. I think is going to be the magic number, and the best of the 3-1 teams probably are going to be the ones that make it through.
Yeah, and now it when it comes to those like 3-1 victory or 3-1 standings, it really also comes down to the map differential, because that's how the tiebreakers are settled. So you got to make sure you guys are winning your matches decisively, because if a couple of these 2-1 victories may not pay off in your favor. So we'll see how that kind of plays out closer towards the end of the tournament. But either way, I'm excited to see some more Overwatch.
Yeah, 100%. And we're going to have another match on the schedule. The next one is scheduled for 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. So if you're on the West Coast, the worst coast, that'll be at 6:30 PST. That is when our next match is currently scheduled, unless I am mistaken.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. So we got about 15 minutes or so. But I think with that being said, I think we're going to take it over to a short little break. So let's take it over to a short break. Again, stay tuned. We got some more Overwatch being played. Swiss stage coming right back at you. We'll see you guys in a little bit.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Tymunster with Mr. Leapfrog here yet again for Watch Over Palestine. We've got a new match set up today, right here at the bottom. Why am I talking like this? I sound like a YouTuber. Fried Puppies versus NXRI, heading into our second match of the evening. How you feeling so far, Mr. Leapfrog?
I'm excited. I'm having a lot of fun tonight. There's a lot of good matches happening for us, and this is no laughing matter either. These two teams are one of the top teams in terms of the Swiss standings. All the teams are going to be playing pretty much every team within 5 or 6 rounds, and you can see if. Oh yeah, look at that! Thank you. You got the standings right here. You can see right here, Fried Puppies sitting at the #1 spot right now. They're up 3 points here with a +2 map differential, and NXRI closely behind them, 2 points as well with only a -1 map differential.
Yep, so heading into this one, if I can just double check to make absolutely positive, it seems as though NXRI played against Freaky Ferrets. It was a 2-0 loss, I think I'm seeing here. So heading into this next one against Fried Puppies, it was a 2-1 loss. That makes more sense given the fact that they have a -1 map differential. But this is an opportunity for NXRI to play back up, to get set up again for, the opportunity to continue throughout this playoffs, right? Because reminder, 3-1 is kind of that golden threshold to where unless you have 4 teams, 4-0, you need to be at least 3-1 to make top 4. So this is an opportunity for NXRI to drag Fried Puppies down as well as bring themselves up.
Yeah, and when it comes to like these Swiss matches, you got to be like locked and loaded because these matches come really quick and really fast. So if you're not really on your A game, it can kind of slip away from you pretty quickly. But it looks like both these teams are still, grinding hard, and they're still ready to try to take it by the horn, so to speak. As you can see, Fried Puppies and NXRI's rosters right here. Fried Puppies, they got their tried and true. They got 5 players. These are the only 5 we need. We got no room for error, but you can see NXRI got a couple of subs just in case if they have a preferred hero that may or may not get banned.
Yep, I mean, I personally am still an advocate for the classic 5-player roster, a 6th, maybe a 6th flex player, depending on what role you find weakest, but I am an absolute lover of the classic 5-man roster. You got 5 players, you can depend on all of them, and you know that, whatever comes your way, you've got the player for it because they are the starter no matter what.
Oh, 100%. You guys you all have to be locked and loaded. I was just saying it, like if you're not ready to go, if you're not ready and warmed up, it can make a big difference. And when you stick to that 5-man roster, for a certain each and every player is going to be playing their respective roles as best they can. But NXRI are going to get the first ban, and they select the Reaper guy.
That's going to be targeted mostly at what we saw, prior, the Zarya Wu Yang Reaper type of composition. And, before we continue on, I just want to give another quick shout. Make sure you go through the website and look through, double check to see if you want to get those stickers in particular, because the stickers are starting to sell out a little bit. 2 of the Watch Over Palestine stickers have sold since the start of this stream, and I think 3 of the Watermelon Patch Mari stickers have sold out, if I'm not mistaken. So there's 24 of the Watermelon stickers left, so if you want one, make sure you get them, because they seem like the hot ticket item.
Yeah, those will go out fast, and once they're gone, they're gone. So it's FOMO. If you're missing out, you got to go grab them while you can. And it goes directly to a good cause, and shipping is restricted to Canada and United States. And as you can see here, Fried Puppies retaliating with the Zarya ban.
That's so weird. This is like a last match situation, right? Last match we saw the Wrecking Ball and the Farah band on map 1. I said that felt like a sort of, banning the same thing twice, both teams deciding they don't want to play into a certain style. This is kind of the same exact thing where Fried Puppies banning the Zarya as the follow-up. It feels like almost a wasted ban when the Reaper is gone. I said before, there's obviously Venture, there's, Farah is another type of character where you can play for the bubbles. Cass as well can work in that slot. But Reaper is really the thing that makes those kind of compositions tick as well as they do. So once it's removed, so is Zarya to a certain extent. It's a very weird ban to me.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, man, you ban Reaper. Isn't it already like almost essentially banning Zarya as well? But hey, they must have a game plan coming into this because, they took their time with it. It wasn't like one of those things they just immediately banned right afterwards. And with the map of Lijiang Tower to start us off as per usual, I don't know. It's going to be I think it's going to be a lot of back and forth action here.
Hopefully, right? That's what we're always hoping for. Last map our last match, rather, Li Jing was selected as well, and it didn't really go very back and forth. It was a bit one-sided, so hopefully a different change, or a bit of a change of pace here, especially, given the fact that the last match was quite back and forth. Hopefully we can start off with a vision on that.
Right. Players are getting loaded in here. We see Dilby starting off on the tank here with the Wind-Dun. And so it AB. So it Tab. So I Tab. So I Tab.
Soy Tab.
Yeah, it's probably Soy Tab. Thank you. Sorry. Can't read. Still Tekken player, by the way.
True. Average Tekken player when they have to read Pigeon Cam enabled. Soy Tab is another player who I think I used to play with Soy at one point. I don't remember. It's been so long, but we're seeing the Pharah Winston come out. Fried Puppies, this composition is how you quickly get me to like you.
Oh, you saw that $30 Pigeon Cam. That was crazy work. Definitely worth every penny. As you can see, also worth every penny to get these rockets out. The Immortality Field just too little too late, everybody falling, and that was a good call from Synex. He was already up there expecting the Pharah, the Symmetra to get the teleporter in and a team kill. Early fight win here for Fried Puppies.
It's so important to be prepared for a TP play, and it's so important to be prepared for the counterplay of the TP play, or else it's just not going to work. I don't know why Karo was late to that one in particular. I saw them in the spawn room. Maybe they TP'd out and then TP'd to point, which would be a bit weird, but now it's going to command a full compositional swap over to the ball.
I think it was, I struggle with it a little bit too. I know I'll tell you earlier I play Sim, but sometimes you just get stuck up on that little lip. The setup on it is kind of tight, so we're going to have to see if in the replay if that was the case. But Suzu coming out here from Hannah, and when you're playing that ball comp, you're salivating right there. The moment you see that Suzu come out, it just spells go time, but so does it for Otters. Saw the Wrecking Ball get so low, and now they're going to have a much tougher time here for NXRI to try to get back into the point.
Akko as well finds big man Alex, so a Lucio diff won for one side, and with the TP back for Hannah, she is back in the fight. Now for Fried Puppies, they are going to be able to just hold back NXRI, and another tank swap here for Soy Tab over to the Hog.
Okay, Roadhog it be.
Oh
no.
6.
Well, I don't know who's having to pay for that one. That one's going to be a costly death right there for Synex. But it doesn't matter. Otters gets 2 picks, man.
Just fall off the mat counter, but it can't be. I don't know how you'd make that work, but God, I wish that was one of them.
I'm sure they'll find a way to make it work. Uh-oh. Tab got the pick right down to Hannah and able to get out. That is unbelievable. I can't believe he was able to survive that. There was so much damage being pumped into him. He did not care, running for the hills. You can see right now, going back into the fight here, got to be super careful. Karo already used recall and still didn't really get too much of his life back, so it's going to have to kind of go back to square one, but you see Tab still dueling it out with the Winston in the room. Primal Rage trying to keep him in there, as well as Synex with the barrage. 2 big picks. And that looks like that's going to do it here for round number 1 of this first map.
Clean but expensive, but the price doesn't matter at the end of the line. 100 to 0 is about as clean as you can hope for there for Fried Puppies. A team, a reminder, 2-0 on the first match there for Fried Puppies. So this is kind of the expectation that I think should be had heading into this one, where NXRI played a close match on the first one. Pigeon Cam, never take me away.
Of course, keep me here. That's all I need to watch. My cats are eyeballing me over the shoulder. You might have to change it a little bit quicker, because I think if you leave it up any longer, they might
We're gonna lose them.
Destroy my setup. Oh no, there's another one. Hey, you ask and you shall receive. I told him to look away, and look what happens. Another one.
The monkey's paw.
Oh man.
That's ridiculous. All right, though. But heading into this one, Fried Puppies are going to play out on the Rhine comp. Both teams on Rhine here, but Synex on the Bastion is going to mean that Fried Puppies have a slight advantage during their cooldown rotation, but NXRI are going to have the standard mid-fight advantage thanks to Zero on the Sim.
Okay, let's see how they make the approach here. And so Soy Tab again falling super early. Dilby swapping over to the Reinhardt, finding the trade here and finding a lot more with it. More picks on the board here for Dilby and forcing him to run back into spawn. Synex going over to the Bastion, looking pretty strong.
Yeah, and at some point Alex was able to find a kill there onto Otters, but it's not going to matter too much for NXRI here, though. The main concern is going to be Synex, but your main target can't be Synex here. especially when you've got Kiri Juno as the backline for Fried Puppies, as well as a Cassidy to beat down on the Genji Shatter. I don't know why I thought I heard a Shatter, but none to be found, and no Ryan to be found either for NXRI.
Wow, Cynics putting the pedal to the metal, so to speak. Already got the 2 picks and immediately popping the artillery strike as well, just to capitalize on the extra picks, but not going to find too many picks with that, but still looking pretty solid here for Fried Puppies. I was kind of skeptical of him trying to match the Reinhardt, but kind of looking a lot more clean with it, and you can see forcing Soytab to kind of hold up shield, not able to do a whole lot there when that configuration comes out. Huge Shatter! Pigeon Cam! Give it to me!
I don't know why. I don't know
that
why.
Was the Shatter animation!
Can somebody please explain to me why Soytab got knocked to the ground by that counterpin, but Dilby just stood there? Like, he just aura farmed the counterpin by counterpinning and didn't go to the floor. I don't know why, I don't know how, I want to know.
Hey, that's all thanks to Kerbatis dropping that $30 for the Pigeon Cam, so you'll see a lot more of that tonight, I'm assured of it.
That is true. I'm loving the pigeons. Give me another pigeon ASAP. It's going to be another fight for NXRI with this Kitsune Rush, the TP. It's a bait, though, with the Photon Barrier soon to be online as Kitsune Rush first drop it here by Hannah. She's going to enable her team to move forward. But the Deadeye?
The flank. He's looking for a pick. Otter's got to be careful. Running out of time, and he spends it. But, again, all that attention put onto the Cassidy allowed NXR to finally get this point to flip over, but alas, they had to spend so much of it. They used the Symmetra wall, they used the beat, and they used the High Noon. Again, High Noon's not one of those ultimates that you rely too heavily on, but I think beat is one of those ultimates that really dictate whether you win or lose a fight. So not having that, especially for this orbital raid coming up from Echo, I'm going to be kind of worried here if I'm NXRI or a fan.
And not only that, but they managed to save their Kitsune Rush when Hannah on the other side dropped it. Mug keeping the kits is going to be a huge advantage, especially into the orbital ray as both those ultimates go down. Otter's going to find one. And it's a heroic save!
Hopefully it's not too costly, and it's okay because they got Suzu from Hannah to keep their team nice and healthy. And with 97% left here, they're not going to be able to get that recontest here. Sure, it goes into overtime, but nobody's left alive. Fried Puppies trying to continue their dominance here. They've already started 1-0 in our Swiss stage, trying to make it 2-0, and is already off to a great start here. First map win.
It really doesn't get that much. It doesn't get much faster than that there for Fried Puppies as well. Otters did have a great map, but I do want to particularly shout out the Pigeon Cam. The Pigeon Cam is really what I want to be shouting out here because, I asked for another one and I did receive. This was literally what I asked for, literally what I wanted, and I got.
I don't even know where that map is from. Where do I see pigeons eating pizza at? Is that? Oh, you're talking about the deathmatch stage, right? See, I forget that was an actual. See, again, I keep forgetting that 2 control points were a game mode.
Yep.
I'm getting old, man.
Hot take. I think that we'll come back to this. Just leave us here. Don't cut to the casters at all. Oh no, it's
Midtown. Oh my gosh. See, we got to save these for tomorrow. I could definitely make this a game for people to kind of guess where the stages are. Yeah, because I definitely would have guessed wrong. I did not realize that this is Midtown.
Because I know that Pigeon. There was in the last match when we went to Pigeon Cam, or earlier when we went to Pigeon Cam, I'm pretty sure it was Paris. Is there another pigeon that we're going to? Oh my God, there is.
But of course, there's plenty. I know there's plenty around here. This would be a great transition into like the actual map start if they pick this one.
Please go to Midtown. It's not even in the pool. It's not. No, it is. It is. In the pool.
Oh, it is in the pool. It is in the pool.
I had to rack my brain. I remember it's the second highest voted map in the entire map pool, with Paricio being at 150. I think this was at 120, something like that. And I'm very glad for that because we get a lot of pigeons.
What is that, an eclair?
It's an eclair, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Very tasty looking eclair, yeah.
I was gonna say I'm kind of I'm a big sweets lover, so I'll definitely dip my head in an eclair if you give me the opportunity to.
Yeah, me too. I went to a bakery today and I got I got some tres leches. I can't say that. I can't say tres leches because I took French in high school and it messes with my brain. And then I got an Oreo chocolate mousse, which, I didn't eat both at once. I'm trying to lose weight, but it was divine. Both were divine. The next map has been selected, actually.
Oh, tell me, what is the map going to be here?
We are headed over, not to Midtown, unfortunately, as perfect as that would be. It's New Junk City. I think, personally, New Junk is top 5 maps in the game. Hot take.
I love Flashpoint maps, but I don't think it would fall in my S tier rank quite yet, but it's close. It's close, especially with the new changes they've added to New Junk City. I think it's it's in pretty close standings. I would definitely put it in top 10.
Yeah, just in general, I think Flashpoint is such a well-crafted mode that we didn't get it when it was released, right? Like the mirrored modes, the symmetrical modes didn't have that kind of appeal on release, but now I think the community is starting to really pick up on just how good they are. And I don't think the classic Flashpoint maps needed reworked, but I'm kind of glad they did because they're even better.
Yeah, 100%. Even some of the push maps too, they've gotten a little quality of life changes and some just very minute details that they've adjusted, and it makes such a big difference in the grand scheme of things, especially for newer players. They come into it this is so easy, it flows so nicely, but then the way we had to deal with it, it's like, man, whoa, it's like we're in shock almost for how these little changes make such a huge difference during the match. Except for
New Queen Street, that map still sucks, but that's okay.
It's okay. It's baby steps, right?
That's true. Is Winston is actually going to be... Didn't Fried Puppies play the Winston?
They did. They did for a moment.
So this is odd, I have to say.
Unless they're just trying to take away the potential ban of a tank altogether from NXRI. Oh, yeah, and you see it doesn't even matter because they just immediately responded with the Wu Yang.
The Wu Yang, clearly a planned ban, but I feel like if you're going for a protect ban on tank, there are better options like Mauga, like Doomfist. Even a lot of teams don't think about Ramattra anymore, so that's a decent protect ban. And on New Junk, you might want to look at something like Sigma as a good protect ban. The Winston ban just feels weird. This has to be a specific, not necessarily a tank protect, but I think a DPS protect. You want to play a very specific DPS hero that would lose out to Winston here, I would presume.
I did see a lot of Genji being played, so I mean that kind of makes sense. So we'll have to see. Maybe some more Genji being going to be played here in the second map. But NXRI, can definitely still turn things around. They look like they had some moments. Especially when Ultimates would come out, where they could really start to shine in these close matches.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm just so hung up on this Winston man. But I think the Wu Yang ban is great here for NXRI. I think NXRI didn't look great playing into the Wu Yang. I think Wu Yang is a very threatening hero. The Winston, I'm so hung up on it.
Winton.
Winton. Not just because Winston was something that they played, but also I love Winston. Why would you ban him? Why do you hate me? And the $70 $70 donation from Carbonatrix. Hello.
No comment from Carbon, but thank you for the donation. Goes directly to our charity fund, and you see that number steadily creeping up. We're already at $2,544, and that number just continues to rise as the match goes on. Didn't get to shout out the other names from Wi-Fi dropping $75, Unfeatured dropping $20. Want to let people know that he hates SLP, and this is what we're going to do to Spider. So, good call out there.
And immediately we're going to get into it as the TP's out. Soytab starts off on the Zarya that was banned on Map 1 for Fried Puppies, so Soytab now back into their sort of comfort zone paired with the Reaper as well.
Wait, wasn't Winston banned? How did he play Winston here?
Check him PC.
Are you guys lying to me? You picked the wrong character here.
There may be a mistake here somewhere. But Fried Puppies are going to start off on the Winston, and it's going to look good, right? The thing is, even though you usually think of Winston as countered by Reaper, it's kind of the inverse, where Winston counters the style. Okay, that makes much
It was Wrecking Ball that they banned, not Winston. Okay, I was gonna say I was a little confused, but you made the call out too, Ty. You were like, doesn't he play Winston? So, yeah, just a little brief little error, but no big deal. But no Wrecking Ball is not bad.
Yeah, the other animal from the moon, whose name starts with a W. It's weird that happened twice. I wish I had 2 nickels for that. As Akko is able to kill Karo quite quickly, as Soytab as well gets Otter, so there's a trade there.
Okay, and I think Soytab's liking this. I think he wants to kind of slow the game down a little bit, let this Winston bubble go away, because now it spells go time, because Smack Attack can go straight to the Winston and kind of chunk him down. He's only at 80%, so it looks like he's going to have to run for the hills. If not, he's going to wind up falling, getting dangerously low, and the Lucio big man Alex chasing him down and asking the ultimate question of, did that wood fry that rice?
The answer might shock you, as Otter's dropped super low, and Hannah actually doesn't heal him at all. The chase down here from Soytab, Grav now available. I doubt you see it pop, but now you might need to, as Cynics with the Death Blossom. Cynics with 2, the Grav is now forced into a mandatory inclusion, and Cynics has found 3 now here. What is happening with the Reaper?
Reaper, shotgun, go brrr. And as you can see right now, it's still trying to keep it going. Soytab just getting caught out, and you see Smack Attack just trying to get the assassination onto Cynics, but too little, too late. It's already been done. Soytab falls, all that charge goes to waste, and you can see Primal Rage being forced out from Dilby. But hey, they don't mind this at all, because at the end of the day, they're baiting out ultimate, and they have an opportunity to recontest.
It was kind of popping off as well here a little bit. It was 2 kills that fight, a couple kills earlier. The main support has been combative as well with Darth Naku. Thank you for the donation. It's been fantastic from Akko in particular. You know, most of the time you don't see the main support play as a notable performer, but I think so far it absolutely has been, as the touch is in here for Karo.
Okay, an opportunity for NXRI. Zarya charged pretty high up. Gotta be careful. Cynics, I think, was trying to bait out some sort of util right there. They could definitely do that. They've got both support ultimates here from NXRI. I think they gotta use them here and now. Beats galore! Oh my gosh, ultimates going everywhere. Kitsune Rush versus Kitsune, beat versus beat. It all comes down to this one fight. Who's gonna take this first point? It's flipping over to NXRI, and Smack Attack with the Death Blossom gets another big pick here. Winston's still alive on the side of Fried Puppy, so they still have an opportunity to recontest.
It's a touch here, there. Or not even a touch, just a combat. The Tracer forced the recall early there for Karo, as now they need to start finding touches. But Karo finds Cynics. The Reaper is gone. There's not going to be another Blossom in this fight, where the chances looked fairly high. 99-99 as these two teams are battling neck and neck. Otters with the Pulse Bomb, the only ult, as Karo 95 needs to build that one up if they want a chance to win this fight. The dive now onto the Kiriko, who now TPs away, and Otters is still an ever-present threat. Drops a half HP, but the recall is there.
Still chasing him down, 1 HP in a dream, not gonna survive. No support now for NXRI. They gotta try to survive, but with Soytab having full charge like this, it's almost gonna be impossible right here. Graviton Vortex gonna come out as well. They've got access. The Pulse Bomb though! The buzzer beater Pulse Bomb at 1 HP from Karo was enough to take this first round. At the very last second, I think that Hannah was just about to get Suzu, but thankfully that Pulse Bomb was able to help clear things up. And man, that was so close right there.
The big bang in the big 2025. You so rarely see that one these days. Oh, that is beautiful there from Soytab and Karo. Karo built up the Pulse Bomb just in time. Cynics was going to have the Blossom if they didn't get that one either. And now the Blossom drops onto the point. It'll find Alex, but Mug does find the trade, as Primal Rage is now up for Dilby. Smack Attack drops so low, needs to be healed up now. And this is your main counter to the Winston, but the Primal Rage doesn't care about that. But the damage instead will not come from the Reaper, as he is already gone.
And that, just like that, Dilby, excellent Primal Rage, just kind of helped clear things up. Wow, I don't know how that slam killed him, but either way, oh, you see, that's why I got the extra slam. That's what you need to get. I tell people all the time, I think that's the go-to perk for Winston. Some people like to go for the bubble throw, but, you know, I think it's all just like a feel type thing, like how they like to approach, how they like to try to close things out. Does that count as a pigeon?
Yes.
Okay. Looks like a rubber duck.
It's a pigeon.
It's a bird.
A pigeon is what you believe
bird.
a pigeon is. It's the metaphysical analysis of what a pigeon is, which I don't want to get into as the Kitsune Rush goes into the point.
Ooh, big ultimate here for Otters coming up clean right now. 2 big picks from Otters, getting the initial start on this fight, and now NXRI is kind of running with their tail between their legs here. I don't think they're gonna have another opportunity to touch this point. I think it's over.
This looks like map 1 performance from Fried Puppies with how they're playing right now. The Winston can pretty handily take down the Zarya composition. That is her main weakness in the tank. Duel is there's no recall for Zero. You could have waited just a second or two, possibly. That'll be the Lucio dead as well for big man Alex. No chance of touching this. If I'm NXRI, I'm already looking to the next point, but they have no chance. The chase down is severe.
Yikes. Oh man, it's Smack Attack actually just trying their best to keep Soytab alive. I think Soytab had like max charge, and it was one of those things, if you go into that next point with that charge, you know, it's obviously an advantage coming into it, because it's not that easy to kind of get charge as Zarya when you're dealing with like this Winston comp. You can kind of play a little bit more accurate when it comes to where you want to place your damage, but now NXRI with that decision right there, they got to come into with no charge and no real advantage coming into this fight here.
No charge, but there is the grab, and the beat soon be online, and Dilby drops so low, needs to jump out. This is the classic playing against Reaper. Even though armor has been buffed, even though Reaper doesn't do as much damage as Overwatch 1, he still is such an immense threat to Winston, even with the bubble healing, Death, Loss, and Primal Rage. 2 ultimates quickly popped as Otters finds another.
Man, and again, these Primal Rages, I mean, sure, Otters and Cynics have been doing an amazing job, like, getting the picks and stuff, but it's all off the backs of Dilby just kind of displacing their entire team. And you can see Otters, again, no displacing needed. I'm just going to run into the back line and get these clean little one clips into melees. That's how you got to do it if you're playing Tracer.
Yeah, Otters is a really good player. This is a player that I've played against in the past in Collegiate, and this guy is scary when it starts to get rolling. And Akko, though, seems to be the most terrifying player in the lobby. Another kill on a Karo there.
Ooh, Cynics getting caught out of position. Smack Attack dealing with the Reaper counterpart here, but they're going to have to find a lot more if they want to try to turn things around here. Soytab has access to Graviton, and I think it's going to be coming out here, and he does. He goes for the Lucio. That's all we want, and that's all they're going to get. But he's still going to be able to help turn that fight around. Bubble just in time. You can stick my friends, but this bubble will keep them alive. And a pause, immediately retaliating. So, you know what that means? Some more pigeons.
Oh, give them to me. And I do want to say for a moment real quick, since the very start of the stream, since we passed the last goal, we have made $300 in donations, just shy. And since the start of the stream, it's been, what is that, 500-600, something like that in donations? So things have been piling on this stream, so do keep it coming. Remember, donate if you're able. And it's been fantastic to see. But yeah.
Yeah, big shout outs. And again, if you guys have comments, just drop the comments in there. I will try my best to read them, because I mean, again, Tekken player here, but I'll try my best.
Literacy is quite difficult for all of us. I mean, I've entered Smash tournaments. I can't read either. I'm not a Smash player, though. I've just entered a couple tournaments. You know how it goes.
No, I do. It's one of those things, like, when I go to these tournaments, I enter a lot of like side brackets and stuff. So it's fun. It's all fun at the end of the day. I mean, that's what was so cool. Like, when I was able to go to DreamHack Dallas, you know, they mainly do the Tekken tournaments and stuff there, all fighting games. So I was able to go there, go and commentate and stuff, and being able to go to offline events like that is it's so much fun. And then immediately afterwards, after getting eliminated, you know, sure, it's annoying and all, but then I can just go to the OWCS station and go watch the matches live, and to see Crazy Raccoon kind of dominate the competition it's so inspiring.
Yeah, I mean, God, what a team that is. But that's a whole other point. I don't want to start being the old man ramblings type of energy right now. But I mean, so far, Fried Puppies, right, coming into this match as 2-0 in the previous match. I think NXRI have really stepped up and overperformed, I think, my expectations for them heading into this one, I want to point out.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they're starting to kind of close the distance a little bit in terms of like the DPS gap that there was that first map. It was pretty obvious, but this second one, I don't know. I think they started to get their bearings a little bit. Obviously, it's it might be their first time on stream, getting a little nervous, but they're definitely starting to show up and show out. So if they can keep that going, I wouldn't be too surprised to see a potential map 3 here once again.
Yeah, and it does come down to a little bit, right? When you saw on map 1, the Zarya, of course, was banned. That's been a very big, like, not necessarily crutch, but a very important thing that a lot of teams have sort of leaned on is the Zarya comp. That's been a very prevalent presence in the meta, Zarya Reaper. whenever Reaper is good, he kind of drags Zarya along, and Zarya at the start of this season was very strong because the energy converter perk, which is where secondary fire gives 3 energy per enemy hit, at the very start, it would also pause energy degeneration. So it made it so then you could stay at 100 energy basically forever if you just kept hitting right clicks because the energy would never degrade. Recently that has been fixed, so it doesn't pause anymore, which makes the perk a lot worse, but still very usable. So Reaper still does drag Zarya up to the meta, but Zarya also is pulling her weight by a fair bit.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, when you have that extra damage, it really does help out a ton. We did get an update on the actual player itself. Looks like his power went out for a second, but it looks like he's coming back right in. And the cool thing is, our producer let me know that we had some disconnection protection. So he should be able to spawn in the same exact place and still maintain his ult charge too. So I know that was a big problem with a lot of like the online leagues that we do. Like sometimes uncontrollable things happen. Power goes out, internet goes on fritz or something like that. And then you have to kind of start over from square one without, ult charge, without anything. But thankfully with that new addition, we don't have to worry about it. Still maintain that competitive integrity here. And we should be able to go right back into it once they're loaded in and give us the old R's, the ready check.
Yep, and a quick sticker update as well as a couple of other things. The guaranteed stream slot for $100 is still available if you want your team to guarantee appearance on stream. And as well, another sticker has been sold for the Watermelon Pachymari, so those are genuinely starting to run out. We're about a third of them left. 60 is the maximum, 23 is how many currently there are, so make sure you get them if you want them. They are very nice design. Do you know who did the design for that? Because it's...
I do, but I'm not going to go scrolling through the entire Discord server trying to find it. I'm sure they'll yell at me here in a second, tell me who, but they designed it for us. And yeah, it's a limited offer, so we only have 60 total and they're already down to 20 left. So if you want to get your stickers, get them now because they're gonna run out.
Yep. And again, it's a very pretty little sticker. It's something that I'm going to end up getting but by the time this whole thing is over. So subtract 1 from each of those numbers and that's how many are actually left by the end of the day. So make sure you do get those before they're gone. And speaking of things that are gone, so is that pause. That was terrible.
Right. No, that worked. I liked it. That was smooth. That was smooth.
I mean, you've got only beats on the field here as well. I guess I just completely missed the Death Blossom. I think I might have a blind spot in my vision. Oh, hello, Caro. Goodbye, Otters.
One clip, and man, Otters is dominating this series right now. But all of a sudden, Caro said, "I got to put a halt to that." Let's see if we can put a halt to this push here. Reaper Death Blossom paired up with the Pulse Bomb is going to power through all of that beat. It doesn't matter if you beat here. There's too much damage on the table, and man, what a turnaround it seems like here. Because now it seems like the momentum is in favor of NXRI as they go into this potential third round here with the lead.
Like the beat and the Kitsune Rush were used. That's so critical, right? When you see the beat go, or when the Kitsune goes down, it's like, okay, they're obviously going to push, so Smack can just go up and blossom. And then Akko tries to save people with the beat. Both those support ultimates are gone. This grab is going to get huge value with the Kitsune Rush if you even need to use it.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to hold on to the grab as long as they can, and they can definitely do that here with big pick onto Reaper. So now they're missing a big chunk of their damage. Winston falling dangerously low, doesn't have Primal Rage to save him here. It's all going to be on the backs of the supports, and the supports are not going to have too big of backs to carry this giant monkey as they take this third point here, moving over to round 4 with the lead.
Heading into this one, I mean, again, they managed to save the grab, which is huge, and Alex as well with the sound barrier coming into this next one will be able to keep the team alive, keep the team sustained, where Fried Puppies are not going to have the same abilities. Hannah somehow has built up a lot of Kitsune charge in this time, but so has Mug. Mug on the other side, remember, used the Kitsune Rush one fight later. Only 8% behind is a very fast Kitsune Rush pace.
Yeah, that's, I'm glad you called that out. It's something you really got to pay attention to. Graviton coming out here, but man, that was unfortunate. Beat coming out as well. 2 big ultimates from the side of NXRI to no success, no value at all from either of those ultimates. They definitely gonna want those back.
Yeah, and one thing I want to say real quick is that when you think about perks, I think the perk meta has been mostly solved where a character like Tracer has a bit of her pickings when it comes to, I think, her tier 1 perks where, melee giving ammo is huge, but you also kind of want the mobility. Cynics has what I think most people would agree is the wrong Reaper perks. Usually expect Shadow Blink paired with Dire Triggers. Neither of those perks selected for Smack Attack.
Wonder if that'll play a factor going into this final map here. I'm kind of the same way. I think mobility is going to be king going into these matches, just because you're the faster team, you're the faster decision maker, you dictate the pace, you dictate the flow of the game, and you see when you play aggressive like that, it forces tanks to kind of retreat, run away. Same thing, Cynics running away, and the Suzu being gone, nothing you can do there because Smack Attack starts salivating when they see crucial abilities being used like that. And you see Mug helping clean up the rest of the kill feed right there. An amazing Kitsune Rush right there from Mug.
Both teams did use Kitsune Rush there, though. Hannah, I didn't see hers. I don't know where it went. As well as Dilby. Now, enough of the Winston, they say, I don't know how I feel about that. I think Dilby's been having actually quite a good performance in the Winston. I think switching off maybe just for this point, but I'm still not sure how I feel about that, especially given the fact that, you have 2 points, it's so difficult. Soitab is going to drop to Otter, so maybe I'm just coping.
I think that's what NXRI is going to have to do at this point, because now, again, it felt like it was just one little fight mistake, one little loss, and that's it. The round is over. Final round, set point now for Fried Puppies. They got to just close out one more round here, and the series is theirs. They'd be going up 2-0.
And as well, again, Caro drops the pulse bomb, just kind of on the floor after the fight is already well and truly decided, where Soitab is 80% now to the Grav, right? Where we saw earlier a Grav pulse bomb combo, commonly called the Big Bang combo. It saved them a point, so dropping the pulse bomb there genuinely has a really big impact. I don't know how I feel about that.
We'll see, because, again, there's been so much damage being outputted here. Cynics going crazy. Does amazing Death Blossom again, just chunking him down, and it doesn't matter how many bubbles you got, I can pop them all. And you see the sides immediately going to be coming out after they cap this point. But man, now the ult charge is pretty much equalized here. It's stabilized on both sides. Soitab, 95, Dilby, pretty much essentially going to have his by the time that NXRI get there.
And that killed that little stagger there. The Graviton Surge now in as well for Dilby. There's a grab on the other side. Soitab tries to equalize things. Cynic's dropping super low, but it's not going to be enough to finish off the kill onto the Reaper. So another ult kind of thrown to the wind.
And look at that, just right when Caro gets it. So, again, you have to worry about the Suzu coming out in time, though. But that's where you really need to capitalize on having your damage dealers like Reaper that can kind of chunk them down without the need of an ultimate. It's a big potential, and now they lost that. I don't know how they're really going to make this approach here, because, a lot of the characters are so evasive. They have access to bubbles as well to keep their teams alive, so Caro's got a lot of work to do here if they want to try to turn things around. And just like that, Kitsune Rush from Hannah looks like it's going to be all she wrote here. Big man Alex has got 1 HP in a dream, and that dream is going to turn into a nightmare.
There's not much else to do here. 89, 90% now on Flashpoint, where the point ticks so fast. Smack Attack has to be the one to touch. Here's the Death Blossom is going to guarantee there's no shot of it. 100-0 on the final Flashpoint, and the Zarya comp looks damn good for Fried Puppies.
Man, I thought NXRI was going to be able to run away with that, but all of a sudden, we were questioning the Zarya swap off of the Winston, and it paid out.
It looked great there for Fried Puppies. It could have been one of those things where you're trying to hide strategies, you're trying to play something just for fun even, right? Because that's always something you have to consider, right? When you're, quote unquote, significantly better in your own mind than the other team, you might just be like, all right, we're going to have some fun. We're going to play our most favorite characters rather than our strongest characters or even the meta characters. That might have been what Fried Puppies was doing there with the Winston, but, NXRI kind of forced them to match and forced them to play up to them.
Oh, 100%, yeah. And when you're controlling the offense like that, you're controlling and dictating the pace, it just makes the game go so much smoother because you're the one calling out when the ultimates are going to be when are they going to be used? Because a lot of those fights, if you saw, Fried Puppies were the ones leading off the charge with the Kitsune Rush, with the Beat, with the Winston ult, the Death Blossom, all those being the first ones to come out here. It's retaliating coming out from NXRI. And when you're retaliating, sometimes you just can't react enough in time and quickly enough to react.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, right? It's just the way of the world, how it tends to be. But at the end of the day, 2-0 for Fried Puppies puts them well at the top of the leaderboard. Looking at it now, they are +4 on maps, the only team to be up to that position. Meanwhile, ME Aquarius is currently second place in the overall standings as we check it out right here. ME Aquarius number 2, and that early seeding deciders kind of put a few teams higher, put a few teams lower, right? If you look at Greg and the Unks, +2 map differential at 2-2 for points.
Yeah, 2-2. I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's a winning standing, but at the same time, I mean, anything can happen in this NA Swiss. There's a lot of teams here. We're gonna take the top 4 teams, so every map counts, every point counts. So we're gonna have to see how that 2-2 standings will hold up towards the end of the actual Swiss stage.
Yeah, and again, it does kind of necessitate at least 3 match wins, in my opinion. 3, I guess that would be points, like 4 points, 5 points, something around there is the bare minimum to get into the top 4, just naturally how things, shape out. And for teams who don't enter with those sort of early seeding points, 4 points is technically achievable, but you have to pop off heavy.
Oh, 100%. And speaking of popping off, I think this is a great segue, a big transition to go into our MVPs. I know we were talking a little bit about Otters. I was thinking Otters, but at the same time, we can't even forget about the one MVP I think we're going to go with tonight, which is going to be Aiko.
Yeah, Aiko played very well. Vinci is the Discord name, so that's what they're going to be shown as. I love to give credit to the main support in particular. That's always been the type of person I am when watching these streams, when casting these types of games, where I'm always looking at the main support first. Also, Void Bloom, thank you for the $10. Lost Torb 1v1, unfortunate. But yeah, Otters had a great game, don't get me wrong. But I do think that Vinci's play, Akko's play, with those beats, with the aggressive play, right, following up on Otters, right, matching their flex DPS to go for the enemy team, to go for NXRI and play up to them. I think that that's a very critical thing that people don't get enough attention for, that I think Akko did great.
Yeah, and I could definitely tell you really love the game, because I think a lot of people tend to forget like how important the main support role is in this game, and that's why I didn't fight you on it. When you said Aiko, I was like, you know what, you're right. Main support never really gets any attention, doesn't really get the love or appreciation unless you start to really dig deep into the actual nitty gritty of the macro or micro of the game. And that's why Aiko was able to kind of run away with that during our series tonight.
Yep. Unfortunately, I think these matches could have been a bit sillier. Lock in NA, or lock out, I should say, NA for tomorrow. Get a little bit sillier with it. EMEA is kind of whooping you in the silly department, but it was very, very great gameplay, realistically. Outside of that, like when you drop the silly, the quality goes up, and I think we did see that a little bit. Oh,
yeah, 100%. Despite, us missing out on the funny things, I think we saw a lot of quality Overwatch. A lot of skill being shown here tonight, and I think it's going to be continued to being shown the rest of the night. I think at the same time, while they're lacking in the funny department, they're really making up for ambition. They really want to win, and that's what it comes down to. The competitive nature for these players really starts to rise in these special charity tournaments, because they just want to win. They want to show out, and especially for something like Watch Over Palestine, it's an amazing cause. So hey, why not just really strap up your boots and just go to work?
There's no greater cause than locking in for Palestine. I think it's the way that it is. But great play from both teams tonight. This is it. This is the stuff.
Yeah, this is the charity we're going to be supporting for. So go support UNRWA. Again, it's United Nations Relief and Works Agency. It mainly goes towards the Palestine refugees near the east. In the Near East, my apologies, but you can see right here what they do. It's a lot of great things. They do provide healthcare, health consultations, supplies like food and water, cleaning water. It's just one of those things. It's an amazing cause, and it's something I've already been paying attention to for a long time before I found out about this charity event. So again, any bit of the donations you put towards tonight already goes to this amazing charity. We've already blown past our original goal of 1,000. We've surpassed 2,000, which was, our secondary goal. And now we're going to our third goal of $3,000, and we're already at $2,500 tonight. And with the addition of the extra stuff like the stream sponsored slot or the stickers, they all really help contribute towards that as well.
Yeah, well on our way to that, reminder, fourth goal of this whole thing, right? The 3,000. Reminder, at the start of the stream, we're at 1,700, something like that. 1,800, somewhere around there. So we've raised a heck of a lot in this stream. So thank everybody who has donated. Thank you all for supporting this incredible cause.
Yeah, of course. Big shout outs again. I appreciate you all immensely, along with everybody here. But with that being said, it looks like we're all finished up for the night. Tymunster, you got any plans for this weekend?
My plans are to cast games. That is my thing tonight. That is my thing tomorrow night, and that is my thing Sunday night.
That's what I like to hear. I was hoping you'd say that, because I'm doing the same thing all weekend. I hope we see you guys here as well. Watch Over Palestine is going to be a 3-day event. We're going to be doing the first 2 days today, and tomorrow night is going to be the Swiss stage of things. So hopefully see you guys again tomorrow, and of course Sunday for the finals. It's been a great night tonight. Again, thank you everybody. Thank you our observers. Thank you our producers, and join us tomorrow again, same time, 8 p.m. CEST and 8 p.m. Eastern. And we'll see you guys again tomorrow. Have a good night.